Thank you, cutie.
Welcome back to Dumb and Broke. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Brian. And welcome back, Eddie.
Woo!
Thank you for having me back. Thank you.
Yeah, when were you on last? I forget when. It was last season, obviously, but like, it was this calendar year?
It was. Yeah. It was
Okay.
a couple months ago.
Okay.
Yes.
That was a fun one and a popular one, I would say. I think your episode may have been the most viewed with a guest, I believe.
That might have been me watching it over and over. My mom.
Hey, whatever helps the views, you know?
Do you watch our episodes back?
I used to, but I don't anymore.
Me too. Like,
Maybe I should.
yeah. I don't know. I like don't love the way I look or the way I sound, which is so ironic because we put out a video and an audio file of us every fucking week. But I also edit the podcast, so I basically watch it all the way through. Sometimes a little bit more than just all the way through. So I don't feel the need to like sit back and like enjoy myself for an hour. So, anyways, should we just talk about the elephant in the room?
We should.
Yeah.
We should.
I feel like Chelsea and we've gone like pretty political over this whole season really, because it's, been election season.
Hot topic.
And today, as we're recording, is the day after Election Day. And I think we can all at this table agree that we're pretty disappointed.
Oof. Would be a good word.
And I honestly don't know what else to say about it. Like, I'm just disappointed.
Disappointed is the word. Disappointed is the
Yeah.
word. Yeah.
Can't say I'm surprised. Are any of you?
I am surprised, and that's what's kind of messing me up. I think in that just like it makes me question, am I in the echo chamber? And that's messing with my head a little bit. But all in all, we're going to accept, and then we'll move forward and we'll deal with whatever happens as it happens.
I feel I'm going to say stupid because I was reassuring so many people about Alan Lichtman's 13 Keys, which had never been wrong except once with Al Gore, which he then explained away why that was nuanced, and disappointed, confused, but she will concede.
Yeah.
And we will have a peaceful transfer of power the way that you're supposed to fucking do.
Yeah. When I say I'm surprised or I'm not surprised, I didn't mean like I expected this, but like, you know what I mean? Like, how can we be surprised? He did it once, like he can do it again. And like, I mean, and I know everyone at this table has someone in their lives who voted that way. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm like truly struggling on how to maneuver those relationships. And I literally had a therapy session hours before the election was announced, and like that was like the main focus of my therapy session. And like I don't think there is an answer for it, but like, can you guys give me an answer for it?
Where do you put them?
Yeah, like how
I think that's going to take some time.
What are you guys going to do about it?
I don't think that I'll be able to talk about it with those people. Like, I've thought about, because mine is mostly some extended family. And then I have some, mostly my extended family. Then I'm thinking of holidays going back. And I think my response, if they bring it up or ask me questions, is just going to be like, hey, I love you as a person, and I don't think it's going to be beneficial for us to have this conversation.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm not changing their mind, and they're not changing mine. So what's the point?
And you love them, like you said.
I love them. I do.
Yeah. All these people in my life, my friends from high school, my relatives, I love them so much. And that's what makes it so hard to understand how we're so different fundamentally.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to critical thinking and voting against your own rights and common sense. And so I did text a couple of relatives today, and I said, I don't say congrats because I don't look at it as winning on a side.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, but I do want to say I wish I was in, and I put their state to give you a hug. And I'm surprised he also won the popular vote.
Yeah.
The country has spoken, because it's important for me to let them know this is how it's handled.
You acknowledge what happened.
Acknowledge what happened. And we don't scream, stop the count, stop the steal, put her in jail. It was rigged. You can't do that, in my opinion. And it's kind of like, go higher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the popular vote thing really got me, because I was like, the Electoral College, we can criticize that all day long, and I would gladly do that. But he also got the popular vote, which means there are more people in this country that support him than not. Or at least, the
ones that voted. The ones that voted.
I mean, that's another issue, is that there was a significantly less amount of voters this time around than in 2020. So that's really sad. Also very disappointing. But what can we do?
Bisexual Latin men, bisexual men and bisexual Latin men and white women swung this election.
The demographics really fucked me up too. Like, seeing those numbers, I'm like, what is wrong with you guys? The call is coming from inside the house.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't want this episode, guys, is not going to be all about politics. We're probably wrapping this up, but
we're addressing it. We're moving on.
We're going to be okay.
We're going to be okay.
You know what? You know what made me feel okay today is I ordered myself not one, but 2 chicken McGriddles. It was about, 10:30 a.m. and I was eating it, and it reminded me that it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
Because there's chicken McGriddles in this world. And
you know what? I'm going to go to Bernie's later and have a martini, I hope. Hopefully I get in. If I don't, that's really going to set me back.
Oh, shit.
I was just at a wedding there on Friday.
At Bernie's?
At Bernie's, yeah. I'd never been before.
Oh my
I
gosh.
loved it.
So
I
good.
absolutely loved it.
Yeah, if you're in the Brooklyn area or Greenpoint area, Bernie's is it. But you usually have to get there at 4:45, or I guess be a part of a private event in order to get in. Or they'll just be mean to you and tell you that they're not taking names.
I was just at a wedding too. Straight wedding or gay wedding?
It was a straight wedding, yeah.
Yeah, I went to a straight wedding too. Tragic. But
Another one lost.
I actually love weddings. I do. I find them fun, especially when you're not really in them. You just get to go and you can kind of leave when you want. But some of the traditions, I'm like, this is just so tacky. If I hear the cha-cha slide one more time, I'm jumping off the nearest ledge.
Go ahead.
Oh, I did have I had a friend who made a list for their DJ of do not play songs rather
on
than
there?
Yeah. So that's what it made me think of.
Martha Stewart said,
Queen.
if you see her documentary on Netflix, I only watched the first 30 minutes. If you want to be happy for a year, get married. If you want to be happy for a decade, adopt a dog. If you want to be happy, what did I say? If you want to be happy for a year, get married. If you want to be happy for a decade, adopt a dog. If you want to be happy forever,
grow a garden.
Grow a garden.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't want to grow a garden.
I was like, this is kind of disappointing.
She lost me with that. But the wedding thing, I think, is very true, which is why I have a strong feeling about weddings, because it's there's a reason that quote is, if you want to be happy for a year. There's a reason she put that in there.
Was that your controversial opinion the last time?
It might have been.
Marriage?
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. That's right.
Well, how do you feel about it now? Now that our right to marriage may be at stake.
I think it's fucked up. I don't want to be forced into getting married because we have to, but I also don't want to miss the boat and then them say everyone who is in, because that's what happened when it first was up. I mean, it's just
crazy.
Yeah.
Good question, though. I don't know how I feel.
Same. I mean, I just think gays have the right to divorce, so they should allow us to do it, you know? All right, so like I said, I don't want this episode to be super political, so I want to jump in right into controversial opinions and spend most of the time. However, my first controversial opinion is kind of has to do with politics, and it's actually a question for you. I guess it's not even a controversial opinion, it's just I want to know, because you do this bit on your Instagram all the time, lock her up. Obviously, like, we know where it stems from, but like, what do you mean when you say lock? Because I feel like you say it for people that like, I feel like it'd be confusing to like, if someone just stumbled across your Instagram and saw that on, because you do it for people that I think you even like. Explain that.
So I'm glad you asked. I had no idea you were going to ask that either. So yeah, I've lost friends over this, and I've lost new acquaintances who have had to check in with the person they met me through and said, what the fuck is wrong with him? I do it as a reminder of what the other side did throughout those years. Like, thanks, Obama. I'm dunking my cookie in the milk and the cookie breaks. That's Obama's fault. That stupidity, circular way of thinking and the inability to critically think that it was just lock up Hillary Clinton, and they ran with that. So I want to be the reminder of what you did, and the caravan coming across the border, and Mexico will pay for the wall. Like, just to remind them of these catchphrases that ultimately meant nothing.
Yeah.
It was all bullshit. That's why I do it. Now it's become a bit of a shtick. I even annoy myself with it.
It's funny.
I kind of like the shtick.
I like that one too. That one's a funny one. Like, and I didn't even get it, and it was funny.
It does it brings people together too, because if they don't understand it, but it's so familiar to them that, or they feel like, oh, he's okay because he's joking about what we did back. So it has been a bridge, which wasn't its intent. But you could say it about anything.
Yeah.
Especially Oprah Winfrey.
Tell me more about
Yeah, why
Oprah.
do you want to lock Oprah
Oh my
Winfrey
God,
up?
that was just a joke because she was like, we did it! With the fucking election. Every time I would see her, it's like, fuck, Oprah, where the fuck are you now?
Yeah.
I got it!
Also, we have to go back to when you said if Taylor Swift would just pick the president already, she did, and it didn't work.
You're correct. I also feel like everything that everyone did on both sides got us here.
Yeah.
Every single endorsement, every single faux pas, every single slip, every single civil servant, constitutional law, lawyer, prosecutor, everything got us here. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Taylor, Tay-Tay, we are never, ever, ever.
Lock her up.
Lock up Taylor. Lock up Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I
That's
saw
the title
so
of this
many
episode.
people, and I think one of the frustrating things for me is I was watching the like live election, and they were in Arizona talking to all these frat boys, and they were asking them who they were going to vote for, and they were all like, Joe Rogan said to vote for Trump, so I'm voting for it. And I'm just like, no. And really, to me, I'm just like slimming. My dating pool is getting smaller and smaller. I already can't date 60% of the white men in the United States. But it's also like, now I'm like, if you like Joe Rogan, that also kind of ties in. Like, I don't know it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I think,
Yeah.
I think.
That 3-hour-long podcast, too, like Joe Rogan had to pull him back. I don't know if you watched.
I did.
He had to keep pulling him back. And it was like, I also just think, just to put a bit of hope, there's going to be people just like in 2016, the leaks, the scandal, the firing, the quitting, the backstabbing, the ulterior motive. It's all going to happen again, but we've seen this fucking movie before. Mm-hmm. What movie is that from? That's a paraphrase. I've seen this movie before.
Scream?
Yes.
Okay. Well, because Taylor Swift also has a lyric that she says, I've seen this film before, and I didn't like the ending. Great lyric.
It is
But
a great lyric.
what if we just like viewed it all as like all of the upcoming stuff? Like, I'm sure there's going to be the firings, all of that, the like tea. We're just like watching a reality show. He came
Yeah.
from a reality show.
Right.
We're just watching a reality show.
A
And
good show.
Tea.
And
Yeah.
the ironic part about Lock Her Up is he's about to be locked up. Well, no, he's not going to, but he
Yeah.
should be, right? Isn't the whatchamacallit, his hearing isn't that coming soon?
I think he's been heard.
Oh. Is that how you say that?
I think it was the sentencing.
I
Yeah.
think so too,
Yeah.
but not now. I mean, now this
Yeah.
clinched.
Yeah.
This clinched it all, and you know, I mean, that quote from Scream is not correct. I don't want anybody to come after me.
Oh, you
It's
didn't
not.
say it
It's
right?
paraphrased.
Okay,
It's paraphrased.
All right.
It's a Sydney line from Part 3
gotcha.
when Roman's going over and over.
Oh yeah. I remember. I actually rewatched Scream 5 on a plane recently. Still good. I like it. Controversial opinion.
I would
Yes.
think that was a psychopath behavior. If I didn't know you personally and I was just sitting next to somebody on an airplane and they were watching a horror movie, I would be like, what the fuck is going on in your brain?
Well, that one has like some graphic scenes, and there was like an old lady sitting right next to me, and I used to see her shaking her head. I wanted to be like, shut the fuck up! Like, it's offered on the Delta fucking Entertainment. I can watch whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, and if I have to look at Kate Winslet's titties, you got to watch. You got to watch some murder scenes.
She probably
in Scream.
didn't even know you were gay. She's like, this fucking straight. Just got to see boobs on a plane.
That sounds like a good movie. Boobs on a plane.
My
Remix
friend,
to
That would be
Snakes on a
funny.
Plane.
Yeah.
my friend Kate said this morning that to calm herself down, she was watching a serial killer docuseries.
No, seriously.
It's true.
I mean,
It's true.
I do that all the time, anyways. But speaking of planes, one thing that I think has been talked about on this podcast, but also something that you talk about a lot on your Instagram, is seat recliners. So I feel like you two have some beef that you guys need to talk through, and I'll just be here and I'll.
Not today. I'm not going to fight with Chelsea today. Not today. No.
You can fight with me. I have put some stipulations on the seat reclining. And I think that if it's not a long flight, don't recline your seat. Like, what's the point? And you only have the opportunity to do it once. You're going to do it once, and then you're going to keep it. You're not going to keep going back and forth. But I do stand by the fact the recline is like an inch.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the older I get, those are very good stipulations. The older that I get, the better I get with dealing with the bullshit. And a lot of the rants are for shtick and material.
Mm-hmm.
And it does bring people together to talk.
Yeah, it's funny. It really is funny.
Thank
Yeah.
you. But I think that a factor is frequency, how often you fly, paired with your size,
True.
will determine your opinion.
Agreed.
Right. So a lot of folks who are flying to Atlantis once a year and they slam back because that's the only flight they take. In our industry, we're constantly on planes. And when you're my size, it just gets really ridiculous. So I think that paired with the shtick just makes it, fun.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Yeah, I allow for it now. I've gotten better in my older
You're not
age.
going to scream at someone on a plane.
Have you ever has someone reclined? Have you said something to them?
No, but what I do is I will get them back reclined. It'll take me I'll get them unreclined. It'll take me 10 minutes with my knees because of how big I am. I can get you back
slowly but
upright.
surely.
Slowly but surely. You'll have no idea what's happening, but you'll be back upright. Separately, when I do have to get up to go to the bathroom, I will slam my ass so hard into that so that you're confused. And it's because I have less space now. And my ass just happened to hit the chair. And I'm sorry in advance if it was ever you.
I'd be fine. I wouldn't think anything twice. I wouldn't be like, oh, they did that on purpose. I'd be like, oh, you good? All right. And then I'd go back to watching my rom-com.
Somehow I always get when I'm on the aisle, I usually choose the aisle seat, and I feel like I'm in my seat, but somehow I always get fucking hit. Like, it's really annoying.
You know what I don't hate, and I don't think this is one that we talked about, is when people are behind and they go to stand up and they grab the top of my seat and move it and come up, and I'm just like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
not sitting here.
Right.
Or like, yeah, that. Yeah, you are right though. It does it depends on the frequency that you fly. Some people just like don't know anything because they don't have to be there very
Right.
often. So
And you work hard for your money. We all work hard for our money. I paid for this seat. I get the recline. And if someone in front of you reclines, there's no way for me to know that you're only reclining to counteract what they did. And so in a way, it's like, well, now I have less room I'm going to take. And then you hope that people will just follow suit.
wow, this is growth.
I think
for
we solved
plane-
it.
Yeah,
I think we solved it.
Wow.
Yeah. really just at the end of the day, just be mindful of the people around you.
Yes.
This is a great example of like two conflicting ideas coming together and compromising.
What?
Take notes.
Through stillness, we are one. Or you can always lean forward, because I'm always aisle 2, and say to them, I will fucking kill you if you don't put the seat back. Don't think I won't.
I like that.
you, cutie. XOXO. Okay. My controversial opinion is about the marathon. The New York City Marathon should be canceled completely, or it should be upstate New York. Hear me out.
Yeah.
You sign up, you post online, then you get bussed up to a wooded area where you could get hurt, and you do it up there, out of the way. But you're not allowed to post on social media upstate.
But like, why would anybody? My thing is, why would anybody do a marathon if it wasn't for attention?
Exactly. That's why it's controversial.
Nobody would. I had somebody ask me the day before the marathon. They're like, "Oh, Chelsea, are you running?" I said, "Imagine I've just been training for the last 6 months and not talking about it.
Yeah, right.
That would be crazy."
Right.
No, I'm not running. But yeah, I disagree with you. I think it's a magical day.
I do like it too. I like this bit that you do as well. It's funny. Actually, I'm not sure if that one's a bit.
Listen, we're talking about through stillness, there is growth. No, but
And I just want the streets to be still on the Sunday of the marathon, and I don't want tons of rampant people running through.
it's been a rough week. I had a flight a few days prior to the marathon. Then I had the fucking marathon, and then we had the goddamn election. So I don't know if it's a trifecta of fuckery.
Right. You've been through a lot.
Well, and the day of the marathon is also daylight savings.
Yes, that's
Oh,
right.
my God.
It was last year too.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And Sunday Scaries.
Kind of crazy. Nobody even talked about it. I didn't know that daylight savings was happening. Maybe this is on me, but I'm not accepting responsibility at the moment. I just woke up and I was like, wait, look, something's off.
I feel you, but you did change your stove.
What?
The time. You
Oh,
had
I
to
did.
change that. Yeah.
Yes.
It's all
Okay.
those little things that
was
like
like, what are you
look at
talking
you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
everything else auto changes except those few
That
things.
was how I knew that something was amiss.
There you go.
Yeah. I thought daylight savings was no longer happening. I thought we locked her up.
I forget how I knew. I think memes online, but then yeah, and then I actually couldn't figure out my stove. So Nick had to figure it out last night. It was wrong until yesterday. He figured it out. And I'm good at things like that. This was just, and I had enough.
Mm-hmm.
I tried and then I had enough. I had to go sit down, take a break, have a fucking Snickers.
You're not
Yeah,
you.
those
when you're
things will
hungry.
take you out.
But the marathon, I actually find the marathon is one of my favorite days of the year. I
agree.
I was actually pretty sad.
Tweak.
I missed it this year because I was at a fucking straight wedding. Just kidding. It was great. But I really like the marathon. I like as a viewer. Have you ever gone to like watch? Never. And you're from New York.
Not
Okay.
that many people would do it if it wasn't in New York City proper.
Yeah. I also probably wouldn't go if it wasn't directly in my neighborhood. Like I don't have to
Yeah.
I don't have to hop on a train to go somewhere to get a good view.
I'm working on getting to this place where, again, if Taylor Swift, if Pumpkin Spice Latte, there's such few moments of joy in life. Life is filled with sadness, not to really bring it down. I had a friend die on Halloween. She doesn't even know who won the election. That like sent me spinning for a little bit.
Oof.
Like imagine if you died before the election and you were so pent up and then this happened and you don't even know because you died. Meaning if those things bring you joy, the short answer is yes, you got to do it and fuck everybody else. But for shtick, I'm exhausted.
You
I'm-
also don't love crowds,
can't do crowds. Good memory.
Which
yeah,
is
that's
like
a good
a-
memory.
but that's
The key to this.
it's a massive crowd all throughout New York.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, in every borough.
I also think that it doesn't end, you know? It starts with the the training, then it's the marathon, then it's the medal, and then it just doesn't. Then it's training for the next marathon.
Then it's the social media post. Then it's the second social media post. Then it's the third. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I did see some people, which I was kind of questioning, like, where's the line here? Some people recycling their last year's marathon content to be like, oh my gosh, last year I was doing the marathon. Shout out to all these runners. And I'm like, you just want more attention.
Well, that reminds me of like when we were talking about how when something significant happens in the world, like, you know, like something negative happens, like when the Eiffel Tower was burning and then everyone took that opportunity to post their pictures with the Eiffel Tower. It's like, stop.
Yes.
Just
Right.
stop it.
Yeah.
But
How could I make this about me?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think that about my friends' children. How could I make your child, the name for your child, about me?
yeah. Anyways, so we like the marathon. You hate it.
Life will go on through
will go on.
stillness. Actually, I'm registered to run next year. You can sign up and donate. You can donate now. Tegan's gonna run.
Is she?
I ran into Tegan before
Well,
I
yeah,
went to
because she
Bernie's
was
wedding.
doing the virtual.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Bless her soul. Would you ever do it again?
Yeah.
Oh,
I would.
I thought you were gonna say no.
I think I'm going to do the half next year.
Okay.
So I'll be seeking attention around April. And then I might do the New York does a 9+1 where you can run 9 races, volunteer for one, and then you get an entry for the next year. So maybe 2026. Maybe.
I support you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
From afar, he's not going to
Yeah.
watch it. Okay, I'm pivoting. How do you guys feel about letting your dog kiss you in the mouth?
My dog is not really a licker. And you're looking at me because I'm the only person here with a dog.
Yeah.
My dog's not really a licker. I will kiss my dog on the snout,
Yeah.
though. But he doesn't like lick my face. If there is like a little dog that is not mine and I go up and it licks me on the face, I'm not weird about it. But I'm not going to let that dog sit.
You get
I'm
one
not
lick.
going to make out with a dog.
Right.
Yeah.
You get one lick. But if you let the dog continuously lick your lips, I'm severely uncomfortable. How do you feel?
Drunk me will pet every dog and let every dog lick me in the streets of Manhattan. It will take me twice as long to get home. But sometimes the dog breath, yes, multiple licks is like a dirty turtle tank.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
You ever smell floss when you do like a deep floss? Don't. Don't. Anyway, I don't like the nose up the nostril. That's where I draw the line. My dog used to kiss me on the face. And my mom used to share ice cream with the dog. Lick for lick.
Oh, wow.
Lick for lick.
Listen.
I think I just like also like my dog licks his paws.
Their asshole.
He licks everything.
I think
and I'm
everyone
like,
at the
and
table
his paws have been on the
licks
streets of New
asshole.
York.
Like that. Some more than others, but
You're right. You're right. Is that what you were going to say?
what?
No.
What?
Licks ass.
Yeah. That's
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't do that, but I don't.
Anyway,
Do you eat ass, Chelsea?
no. You said some more than others.
Yeah.
We did this topic as well.
Yeah, we
I
talked
feel
about-
like this episode is very meta in a great way.
Yeah.
In a great
We're
way.
getting to circle back and share our new views on things that we've talked about prior.
Yes, it's a callback.
Yeah, because I
Nostalgia.
would just like a PSA out there that some of the podcast episodes that we've done last season, 2 months ago maybe, or even the longer ones, it's like, don't expect that I have that same opinion now,
Please.
which is crazy.
Please.
Yeah, I've listened to a few and I'm like, whew,
Yeah.
who was she?
Yeah. I know. Sometimes I think I'm more like gutsy than others, and I'm like, literally, like, who is she?
Yeah.
Like,
And you're going to have it forever, like a catalog of your episodes. And that is what it's about. It is about growth. And wow, this was what you talked about that on this last episode, I think, too. I think you did. About looking back. Or someone
probably.
coming for you for something you said a long time ago that you don't want to be held
right.
Right.
responsible
We're
for.
preparing for fame, and like, that's when once you get a little bit of fame, then people start scrolling through your Twitter from 2009, and
I would like the ability to change my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we have to be that afraid. Like, I think the worst things we probably have said have been criticism of certain celebrities, probably.
True.
But it's not like we're once, pro-lifers, and it's nothing
Right.
of that sort.
Right. It's not like we're running for president.
That part.
Yeah.
And you want to hit up. You don't want to hit down the people beneath you, the disenfranchised. If you're making jokes about people who are untouchable, it's a different type of it's like comedy.
Yeah,
It's not cruel.
I'd like to think so, at least.
Boom.
Okay, I have another controversial opinion here. Not everyone should be a parent / parents lie about how fucked it is.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think that this is something that anyone would say, but I do think there are probably a lot of parents that would take back their decision. Or maybe that wouldn't take it back, but who probably think now that they're in the thick of it, I don't think I was made for this.
I don't think I should be here right now, to be honest. I don't think my parents should have had kids. So I definitely agree with that opinion.
That's deep.
But then you wouldn't be here.
I know. And I'm okay. No, I'm kidding.
I find myself getting mad at my parents, and then I check myself and I say, they are the way that they are because their life went on a tangent because of your 1985 ass. My mother was 18, 19. Not supposed to have kids at that time, in my opinion. But who am I, alive, yelling at my mom for having me when she was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
There's a movie where I go back in time and I try to prevent my own birth so that she could have a better life, the life that she was supposed to have, not the one that she has now, which is a fine life, but not the life that I think she wanted.
Right. But yeah, and then to your point, people, I think parents there's a little bit of lying going on when they're like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, because I don't feel like they can say otherwise.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I love my friends with kids. I love my friends' kids, but I do see what I see, and it's stressful, and it's a lot, and it doesn't fucking stop. And if you don't have a good partner that you're in it with,
Chelsea just yawned. She said you're fucking boring. Shut up.
That was not it.
you're tired of this topic.
No, I'm ready.
I'm kidding. But yeah, I feel bad, and they can't say it. And then when the kids are 10, 11, 12, it gets better, and then they admit, or what you said, if they could press a button and make the child disappear, would they do it?
That's a good game show.
That would be a Black Mirror episode
Yes.
where it's like you could secretly go into this room, nobody knows the answer, and it just flips to an alternate reality where whether you either have them or they don't.
There's no consequence either, but
No consequence.
Ooh, that's
you
a
either
good one.
choose to have them or you don't.
Take it a step further. Both parents go into separate rooms, and if they come back out and their child is still there, it means that at least one of them did not hit the button. But if the child is gone, you both hit the button. I just feel bad because you don't want to lose yourself for 18 years and then find yourself again. You know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword.
That is such a fucked up alternate reality that I just can't get past.
Oh my god! I was in Tampa over the weekend, and I spent a lot of time with kids because my best friend has 2 kids, and then I saw family members, and everyone has kids. I think it must be different when they're your own kids, but oh my gosh, every time 1 hour around kids, and I'm fucking exhausted. I could not imagine having that as a full-time job. Essentially, I'm always asked, do you think you want to have kids? Do you think you want to have kids? And as I get older, the answer becomes a more firm no. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know. I'm still undecided.
Yeah.
Because then it gets to a point where it's okay, well, am I going to be bored? I don't want to be bored. And then just I don't want to regret it later down the line. I definitely don't want kids right now.
Yeah.
But I don't want to regret it when I'm older that I missed out on this really big love.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this before. I remember you giving that similar answer, and it's not fair. I try to check myself at times not to be too judgmental because for me to have a kid, it's a certain path. and it's hard choices, no mistakes. For you, you're equipped to have the child, and you've got the burden of people telling you that this is what you're supposed to do and all that pressure.
The burden is for real.
It's not fair.
No, it's not fair.
Full circle moment.
I feel like, yeah, it's definitely not fair that that the age that you're on a ticking time bomb. Like, I wish that bomb was a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
'cause-
well, and I honestly think it is a little longer than some people make it out to be. Like,
Yeah.
I still feel like personally right now I have plenty of time, but I do feel like it's a societal burden to have children for women that I feel like I'm going to be missing out on something like big and maternal that only women can experience, and I'm just like missing out on this big experience. Not that only women can experience love for a child, but it's like birth.
yeah. Ooh. You feel like you're missing out on something if you don't give birth?
I don't know.
Ugh.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Actually, the thought of giving birth seems like the
I
worst
can't
part,
believe people
but
are still doing it.
You forget.
Yeah.
You forget how traumatic it is.
It's wild. Like, I've never been in like the delivery room, but like I've seen videos, and that's enough for me.
Well, that's why you got to do Kegels. I'm
Oh.
doing mine right now.
Is that what that smell is?
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
All right, let's move on. What else do you got for us?
Okay, I have another one here. My favorite topic. All men are interested in a sexual experience with another man.
Ooh.
Now, this is subjective. The word interested becomes to what extent. My argument is, given the data and the conversations I've had as of late, I feel firmly in my stance that all men feel this way at some point.
Not
And
all men have acted on
Right.
it. Okay.
Right. As a female, I would agree.
Yeah.
But I also, I mean, I feel like girls have thought about it too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, why would guys have not?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I feel like most girls would probably agree with that, with what you just said. That
Right.
that almost every woman has felt some sort of lesbian feeling in
Or
some
like
way.
thought about what it would be like to be with another
Right,
woman.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh my God. I 100% agree.
I also think, not to keep bringing it back to the election, but like in a world where so much of that, where like trans porn is the number one search in so many of these bright bulb red counties in states that are anti-trans, and yet it's the number one searched porn.
That and incest.
Exactly. And then gay.
Yeah.
And so it's all lumped together.
Not not like real. Chelsea, you gave me a look. More like stepbrother or stepdad. Not
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
It's weird when you fall down that rabbit hole of like the things that people look up, and then you're like, what? Why do you have a problem with this thing that you're secretly behind closed doors looking up
Yeah.
constantly? I'm getting exhausted.
They love the taboo.
I also
And it wouldn't be taboo if it was so widely accepted.
Yeah.
So like
100%.
there's no risk, there's no thrill.
Yeah.
yes, and the curiosity.
We talked about that. We touched on that a little bit too. And we talked about like the RNC and how Grindr kind of had a little moment.
That's right. Or who are the people who end up getting busted? It always ends up being Republican congressmen getting busted in restrooms. White Republican congressmen. Curiosity
happy.
killed the cat. Yeah, ditto.
That makes me happy because it's like, just admit it. Like,
But you'd think it would move the needle. Instead, it becomes, well, you were just a closeted homosexual Democrat, not a Republican. It's just they completely rewrite the story, and then they're out of the party.
yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
But that's
But I would fully agree that men have some sort of an interest in what it would be like to be with another man.
yeah,
I think that it's a matter of opportunity meeting curiosity, meeting convenience, meets boredom, meets can't get pregnant, and also just like a perfect storm of a situation where if you knew, no one would find out. On a tangent, when you know that pressing this button is going to hurt the person in the other room and you hear them screaming, but they can't see you pressing the button, that's psychological game. I don't know where I was going with that.
Something that messes me up just with men in general is I had a friend once who told me, who was in a very committed, seemingly loving relationship. And he said every single man would cheat if they knew that their partner would not find out. Like if they had confirmed that their partner wouldn't find out, every single one of them, because men are so sexually driven, every single one of them would cheat. And then he asked one of my other friends, who's also in a very loving relationship, he was like, if you knew for sure that no one would ever know, would you cheat? And the man said yes. And that broke me. Because I was just like, that feels so fucked up.
Do you agree with that statement, though?
It's definitely a controversial statement. I do agree with it, but I also think that cheating can have an effect on you as well, the cheater. And I feel like that could eat away at someone. But if the partner never finds out and that's your biggest concern, then yes, I agree.
But they were basically alluding to the fact that that's the reason why people don't. The consequence, not necessarily that they don't want to do it or that they're so in love with that person that they don't want to do it. It's really just the consequence that holds them back.
I know for me, I don't think I would do it even if I knew I wasn't going to get caught. Like, of course I have to say that, right? But like, I genuinely, like,
I believe that.
right?
I
like,
do.
Like, I wholeheartedly. I mean, I don't sleep with people when I'm single. Why would I do it when I'm with someone?
Well, I also think I have a lot of friends who are in the straight and gay, the ethically non-monogamous crowd, and that's plagued with jealousy and rage, and you lied, and they're openly non-monogamous, and they still have problems.
Yeah.
So that fear could still be there, let alone someone finding out, and then everything's over, especially if you're married and you don't have a prenup.
Oh, that one, like, I don't know, that topic, like, for some reason is really triggering. I don't know why. I've never been cheated on or anything, but like, it's something that would, like, I think would truly fuck me up if I ever got cheated on. And then, and if, I think, to your point, if I did it too, I think that would fuck me up too. Like, I feel like I don't know, and maybe this is so cowardly, but like, if I cheated on someone, like, I would like beg for them to not want me again. You know, like, I wouldn't try to like get back. Well, maybe I would, but like, I would really hope that they wouldn't want to be with me, because like, I don't think I would be able to live with myself knowing that I betrayed. Because to me, for me, like, the way I view it is like such like a betrayal
Of trust. You can't, the older that I get, trust is all you have in your friendships, in your relationships. So it's like, once that's gone, what are we doing here?
Right.
I've never been cheated on either, but I was with one guy before Nick that I dated, and we broke up. When he moved out, we stayed hooking up, and he had already started dating someone else months into us continuing to hook up after our breakup. So I was the second. I went from being primary to being the second, which still was fucked up, mostly because I felt bad for the new primary, and it stopped. We're still in touch. It ended amicably, but I've never been cheated on otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, that I know of.
That I know of.
Yeah, right?
You've been
Right.
cheated on?
Yeah. It was in high school, so we'll see how much it counts. But
In the moment, I'm sure it counted. You know what I mean?
it counted.
Right?
It counted.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
funny now. Like, I mean, high school for you was like, what, 57 years ago? But, like, how that is like nothing to you now, right?
Right. When at the time was massive.
Which I feel like is a good reminder for all of us right now that, like, what we're feeling in this very moment is not going to be forever.
4 years, a drop in the bucket.
Right.
How old will you be in 4 years?
Whoa. I'll be 38.
I'll be 35.
Nearly 39.
And you?
I'll almost be 45.
Wow.
And cheers to that.
Yeah. Age is just a number.
It is.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, is it?
That's my bit, okay? Is like the ageism thing.
It's funny. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Some people, new people, won't like it.
Yeah.
Especially the older gays who don't know you. You've not done it that I've seen.
I've done it to a couple people.
Okay. Some are very sensitive about it if they don't know you're
Test
kidding.
the waters.
Get over it.
Right. Yes.
Like,
true.
You know?
Me, I'm just like a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
31.
I would never do it to like someone younger than me.
How would you feel if somebody younger than you did it to
They
you?
do it to me. So like I know how it feels, you know?
I used to always be the young one, and now the tables have turned, and I'm on the older side, which I have no hang-ups with age, but it does get harder and harder.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Sometimes, and I feel like I can kind of relate to Gen Z, but like sometimes I'm like, wow, there is a generational difference between us, you know? And it makes me feel fucking old. I was telling her last week that I was at a club and Unwritten came on, and these Gen Z people did not know the lyrics. And that really hurt. That hurt. Because I think everyone should know that song.
I think everyone should know that song.
Feel the rain on your skin.
No one else can feel it.
And the rest is still unwritten.
Yeah.
Great song, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got more?
I believe I have one more. Social media is a major factor in the loss of this election for Kamala Harris. Is this even controversial? I guess my point is social media has fucked so many things up.
I do think social media is part of the big reason why I feel so confused, because I'm being fed one side of everything, and then they're being fed a different side.
I feel that
So
too.
it's like, I think that's part of what I'm like in my head. Everyone that surrounds me is we're all on the same page. So it's like, how can majority of the country not be on the same page?
Right. Even
but
like,
it's because of the internet.
yeah, and even like my friends on Instagram who are, you know, my friends on Instagram are people that I have at least met once, you know. I would say like a good like 90% of them we're all thinking the same thing. So it is pretty mind-boggling. But I do think social media has something to do with it, and it's the misinformation, you know. And I think a lot of people from all ages and all demographics are easily influenced. They read one headline, they see one video, and that is their truth. And, you know, you've used the term critical thinking. I think a lot of people in this day and age lack that. I think most people lack that, actually. And people think they're doing research because they read one article or they read one social media post, but that's not research, you know?
Like, what is research even?
I mean, reading multiple sources, and,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you have to gather things and, like, you know, use your context clues and figure it out on your own. Like, research
Yeah.
is work.
But I
Research
think
isn't reading.
with research, you also have to read conflicting reviews and like see how you feel about that. You can't just only see your side over and over. And this is also a me to me conversation. This is not like you can't just see your side over and over and over and then feel like you know what you're talking about if you're not looking at it from the other perspective.
Right.
Or until it affects you, you don't give a fuck about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it does affect you, like the health of a relative or a disease that you didn't care about until it affects you, or a lesbian daughter or a trans child, until it affects you, you don't care. Or an abortion, or someone gets killed by a gun that was kept in the house, and then all of a sudden you want to change your stance on gun laws. I want to give you a quote from a drag queen named Logan Hardcore. Listen to me. I mean this deeply, with my chest, with my heart, with my mouth, and with the petty part of my personality that will remind you of your vote when it backfires on you. That fucking went in because
Mic drop.
Exactly. He's the president for all, and some of these votes are going to they might not fuck me. We might slip by without getting affected, but others will not. And that drag queen is there to remind you when your fucking vote fucked you.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, on that, in terms of like social media, maybe this is going to be controversial, and here I am, we're getting political again, is one example of that. I think that so many people have read 1, 2, whatever many articles about immigration, and they are brainwashed and convinced that immigration is like the biggest issue, and that's why they voted the way they voted. When, like, if you did some critical thinking, if you did some research, I don't think you would view it in the same way. And also, to your point, how many people who voted that way because of immigration, does that even affect you? And if it does it affect you negatively?
Actually, I was having this conversation today, and we were talking about the subject of immigration, and that was my exact thing. I was like, I don't feel like that really affects me personally, so
Yeah.
okay.
Right. Like, so many people in fucking...
Which is kind of to your point, people only care about what affects them personally.
Right.
Which is fair to an extent.
You're also knowledgeable enough to know that the fear-mongering about the caravan that's coming across the border in 2016 never came. Like, you're able to take your news from other places or speak with people, or you have friends in your life that are immigrants or are connected to immigrants, and you know the repercussions of what these strict laws will have. I think it's okay that we're talking about politics, and I'm sorry if we talked about it too much.
No. Let's not apologize
Relevant.
about that.
Could not be more relevant.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I am very passionate about it. I think going into this podcast, we all kind of agreed that we didn't want to, have the whole episode about it. But like, let's face the reality. We're going to be talking about this for weeks to come.
I really hoped it was. I don't know what I hoped, but I hoped. I guess I know what I hoped. I hoped we were done. I really hoped her expression of turning the page resonated with me because, to quote Elsa from Frozen, the past is in the past. We've been harping about this shit since 2015.
It's almost a decade.
My God.
Yikes.
I'm so exhausted.
Did we put up the wrong candidate? Did they put up the wrong candidate? We'll never know.
We're in it. And we were talking about this earlier, but I'll share it. You can only... Worrying is not going to help you. I mean, obviously, there's some anxieties about what could potentially happen, but do your best to not worry about those things until they're actually happening and affecting you. Because,
Right.
I mean, what is the point? I mean, obviously feel your feelings, but what is the point earlier to stress yourself out more for something that could potentially happen when it hasn't happened yet?
Yeah, and I think this is an opportunity for, like, all of the minorities and the marginalized groups to, like, rally together more than ever, and we do have the right to protest. We have rights still. So, like, I think it's an opportunity to, like, get this community, like, even more bonded. I don't know. That sounded really fucking gay, but
well, and maybe it's a sign of, like, we can't slip. You know, you have to be involved.
Yeah.
So,
and on the
if
bright
you're
side,
upset-
for us, this is it. Like, he can't run again, so let's just
ride out the next 4 years.
and that's it. I mean, there's always
Yeah.
worse, but yeah.
I mean, on a true note, it is really nice that we live in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Concur with everything you said. I was going to say something really crazy and mean, but I changed my mind.
No, you can't say it.
Say it, and we can decide.
He might die. I didn't say how.
You didn't say who. No, I'm just kidding. Can we say that?
When, where, why?
We all might.
We all might.
1,000 Ways to Die.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at one of them right now.
My cat, Noah.
No, this was good. Thank you for having me back. I was
Yeah.
very happy you asked me to come back.
Oh my God.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Always the best.
Yeah, this was great. Yeah, thank you for being here. And hopefully this was entertaining for you all.
Well, yeah, it will be. We're entertaining.
A mix of news, levity, comedy, sex, scandal.
Wow.
Intrigue,
Ow, ow,
beauty,
ow.
grace.
Yeah. Let's play this as the intro.
All right, guys.
Like, comment, subscribe.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.